Today's episode is sponsored by Anchor. If you don't know what Anchor is a free way to make a podcast. It's totally free. You don't have to put any money into it unless you actually do want to. um, it's totally free. You just make the podcast and they push it out to you, or push it out, to the people who listen it. They push it out to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, you name it, they do it. And all you have to do is go to anchor.fm on your computer or download the app on your phone. And it's right there for you. They have creation tools available to you. They have tools that make it easy for you to make your podcast. And then all you gotta do make the podcast, they push it out. You can access those tools right from your computer or phone. You can make money from the podcast too. And it doesn't matter how many people listen to it, you still make money. And everything that you need to make this podcast is just all on this app, all on this website. So even though many people don't want to make a podcast, cheers to Anchor for helping me make this podcast and get it out to all those places. So cheers to Anchor. And if you want to start your own podcast, download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm. That's anchor.fm to get started. And God, the mic wasn't working for a second. I couldn't click it. How we love the glitchiness of the sponsorship. And of course, that's because my computer was not working. Hi, we're back here at Behind Jimsy, the best podcast on earth. No, not actually, I don't think. Where sometimes we swear, sometimes we don't. We've been moving away from that. But I still talk about dumb stuff all the time, just to fill time. So all the time in the world, just filled. So of course I'm back with the dark stuff about my water bottle here that just it's in the way of me turning down the monitor. It's weird that my neighbor is already ready for Halloween. Has a whole display, but yeah, it doesn't. Like it's just not a lot. Well, it seems like he turns it off, and I'm like, that's weird. Honestly, weird. Okay, there you go. That's a better light for what we have to do. So, welcome back to Behind Jimsy. As we said, I had like a five episode lineup. We only have one more. We need one more episode, and then all of like the next 5 episodes we do. That's going to be all 1 week. So it's like an extravaganza before Halloween. But no, this is just kind of like getting back into the groove. So of course today we're talking about help. Do I really need it? If you can figure out what song I'm referencing, that would be be awesome. I don't think I should sing it because then I could probably get copyrighted. Not the best thing in the world to do, but just put those little jokes in there. I mean, honestly, you can be like, "Help! Do I really need it?" But if you actually know what song I'm talking about in your head, you can think it. YouTube can't catch me on this one. Anyway, help. Do I really need it? Yeah. So for a while now, I've been kind of advertising the Gypsy team. And I first like month I advertised it super hard. I started making references, stuck to the references. I've actually pulled back. If you think about like a throttle, if you think of the throttle as a lever, and you pull the lever, I don't know. If you think of like gas, like kind of lifting off the gas pedal, just trying to lift off the pressure. And I'm like, you know what? Nobody's gonna join. It's gonna be me. I honestly, it doesn't matter to me, to be honest, because I made the show because I'm like, hey, let's just do this. I mean, come on, we're stuck inside all day. What are we gonna do? We're gonna do this. Now summer hit, and I mean, summer. You can't talk about Central when it's summer. Um, yeah, there's nothing to talk about in summer. Um, but I'm like, you know what? Could really use the help. I'm not here half the time. Would love if somebody kind of took over for, like, 50-50. And I'm like, you know what? Nobody's gonna join, and I'm totally fine. Like, totally fine with that. Um, and it wasn't until recently that someone who actually was on on the show before. Um, if you know Ella, Ella was in episode 4, I think. That was when we were talking about COVID effect on students. Of course, she's a fellow diabetic, um, so that's always fun. Call this the diabetic show, but we're not, because I mean that's stupid. I don't even think of myself as a diabetic. Oh, I have like a something in my back that hurts, and like it's hurting my lungs. It's usually just like a cramp or something, so it's not too severe. But usually I need to put my fist between my chair and my back. Usually, it sounds completely wrong now that I say it, but it may not. So if you're on the video version, you can see my arm is kind of gone. My chest is kind of pulled out a little bit, but trying to not make that too obvious. If you're on the audio version, you're just being weirded out at this point, because I mean, come on, you're listening to everything. So yeah, help. Do I really need the help? I don't know. So Ella's a good person. I haven't talked to her recently. I haven't really been in the loop recently with anyone recently. Just being a remote student kind of sucks. So not being in the loop, um, it's really hard. Because you can't talk to anyone. So she first joined. She's like, "Well, where's the form to fill it out?" Guess I didn't put it in the Start School survey, which we've been heavily been doing, but I'm gonna start not. I'm gonna start to cool off a little, and that's actually gone now. Something else we need to get rid of: topic requests. That's gonna be gone. Um, yeah. So, uh, yeah. I might keep it around. Just close the submissions. Might take it off our webpage for a little bit. Like summertime, we'll probably need them. Um, yeah. Um, yeah. So that's you know, and the extra help now is better for me because like right now I'm recording this. Daylight's gone. I said it like earlier. Actually, it's still Tuesday. Still Tuesday. Um, I recorded episode 30. What was it, like 35 today? Or it was 34 today. And I'm like, you're gonna see me in my Rise of Skywalker shirt. Yeah, I got dressed to go to dinner. Good old Red Rob. But yeah, so I'm back in my Dr. Pep. I guess I wore this probably I feel like I wore this the last episode of Behind Gypsy I did. I'm probably wrong, but no, I think I did the Atari shirt. I have so many T-shirts, I can't keep track of them. Um, but yeah, that hurts. Like I lost feeling now. I kind of lost it. Um, yeah, so it's just doing this. It really kind of sometimes it stresses me out because like I'm under the stress of school. Today actually wasn't totally bad. Tomorrow's gonna be pretty bad. I just know because when you have to read a chapter of a book that's like 20 pages long. I read like part of it today, so I still need to read the rest of it. um, yeah, it's a lot for me. And to do this, like been taking 1 week off because I'm doing this in the mix. It's hard. I used to get up early, and now today hit 5:30. I woke up, I'm like, oh my god, and like I don't know. Every now and then I'll drool. Don't know why. I'll just drool. And like, kind of got the drool from like the side of my mouth, and I'm like, oh my god, felt like a total train wreck. I've been, like staying up late doing homework. It really tires you out. Um, so yeah, it's hard. Do I really? And I keep saying like, do I really need the help? It's nice to have the help. Right now Ella hasn't started. She's probably looking at this like, oh, he doesn't need me. Yeah. Like I play through scenarios in my head sometimes, just like my imagination, and I'm like, oh my god, she's gonna look at this and be like, wait, is he second thinking everything? I, I don't know. Uh, I don't know if she actually does think that, but no, no, I'm not second guessing any of it. I'm glad to have her on the team though. And she's told me, well, I'm not open till like the beginning of November. Um, so hopefully that's when everything will kind of smooth out a little bit. Um, with like the Instagram revivers thing. I'm so tired with that, but I think no, we don't have an upcoming episode with that. Okay, that means I can talk about it. Sometimes like I'll like talk about it a little bit and then save the rest for like the next episode. But like right now, I'll just talk about it. Instagram Reviver has been a mess, back and forth with the owner, and like, well, I had one person who was gonna do it, and then they kind of dropped out, and then we have Ella, and Ella's away till November, and I'm like, dude, I don't know what to do. um, and it's just really hard, um, super hard. Um, yeah. Um, so I mean, like, hopefully November that happens. I don't think she's really into the whole like I'm gonna have my face on YouTube kind of thing. So I don't know if she's actually gonna be taking over, the the YouTube channel. That reminds me, I need to kind of look and I do like and I went dark because like there's no more like whiteness to anything. Um, like I have to go in and like right now I'm going in and managing. We have like a latest episode playlist. It's like at the top, just it's easy. Um, and I had to start going in because like everything that I put in would show up at the bottom. I tweaked the list. Now everything that I put in shows up at the top, but we're only showing a week's worth of. Is that all? Really? No more. 5 videos. Yeah. We're only showing like a week's worth of. Um. Showing only like a week's worth of videos. So that's like 3 episodes plus a channel update. That's our latest episodes basically. So like at the end of this week we'll have like channel update and then the like 34, 35, 36. And of course, that list will update frequently. Um yeah. Sometimes you just gotta take a good old breath. Um So yeah, now that I have the light back, I just pull up the page because then it kind of helps me talk about the topic because I can look at it and like, okay, there you go. That's our topic. Um, and I started thinking about like, okay, well, what are we gonna do for like Ella's gonna be joining? What are we gonna do with her? I'd like to make her like, I'm not gonna let you sit on the sidelines. I'm gonna rope you in and be like, hey, what do you want to do? And she's like, well, she even she even filled out the form. She's like, well, whatever you want me to do, and I'm like, that doesn't help me. I mean, come on, we have a new show that might start, which I'm not sure if it actually is going to start. If it's not, don't know. We have the Friday update. The Friday sports updates may or may not happen. We don't know. Um, it's just this big thing. Um, Now she can jump on in and be like, okay, I know what I'm doing. I'm gonna do it this way. I'm gonna recommend this. Like it's just a bunch of stuff. She didn't seem like she's on the side of like I'm gonna be the face of this. I'm definitely gonna like put her face on some of the stuff and like, hey, I'm here with Ella. Like Ella, you like me and Ella are just sharing, and when I say that, like, not only do I mean the main episode, I might bring her like this might be like behind Gypsy, like we're talking about random stuff. We might just talk together and be like, hey, would you want to do a random episode like we talk together? Um, uh, and hopefully, cross my fingers. Like episode 4 when we did the Zoom, it was really glitchy afterward. Um, hopefully, sorry, hopefully, because I had to go into my computer and tweak the settings. It was something with the stream settings because my recording is set to the same as the stream. Now I can hear a dog barking because I have my windows open, so that's awesome. You get to hear my neighborhood. Um, I get to hear a truck coming into my driveway. I think maybe. Uh, I'm right. Definitely right. Was right. Not kidding. I was right. Um. So yeah. Just some of those things that like we can pull her in on some of these. Like I stay here, I talk. But what if we actually have a discussion? Like podcasts can be discussions. Like if you watch, I mean, I always watch like Good Mythical Morning, great show. I always try to be like, hey, like try to pull in different sources and like I started doing something like the Daily Show, kind of try to be fast stuff, kind of be interesting. Good Mythical Morning, be laid back. Like I try to take in a bunch of different stuff to be decent for the district. Um, I forgot about the dog. You can hear my mom yelling at the dog. Um, but God, I lost my train of thought. Yeah, it'd be nice to kind of talk to her about stuff like, hey, we're gonna go back and forth, and like, why not? I'm not even afraid because like I try to make these like 15, 20 minutes long because then I'm not wasting your day. I'm not afraid to make it an hour, 2 hours. I'd probably not go over 2 hours because then that's a huge file. Like what I do is I record it with the video. I trim it to take off because when I do the podcast version, trim it to take off because the advertisement is already in Anchor and like I can just like, oh wait, I can add it to the beginning. So I cut off, I trim it right as I start talking. Um, and usually I do it by the picture. Like now, this is gonna be like when I start talking. Um, yeah, and that's usually how you do some of that stuff. Well, that's how I do it. Yeah. I gotta think. So, it's just what I have to do is I have to run the MP. It's an MKV file. It's a video file. You have to run it through like a converter to convert it to an audio file, and then you gotta put the audio file into Anchor. It takes a nice like half an hour at the most. It's not horrible, and then you gotta enter in all the episode details. 2 hours is gonna be a lot of film and a lot of stuff for even my computer to handle. If it happens, it happens. And it happens. I'm gonna try to keep it to like an hour. Like if we go to like 40 minutes, I'm not gonna mind, but try to stick by my like 15, 20, 30 minutes that I have. But yeah, like I'd like to have her join in and like Ella, if you're listening now, I mean, come on, come talk to me if you have a topic that you're like, oh wait, we can talk about this. So just tell me. This show is all about, or this podcast is all about being laid back, talking about some of the things with our show, and talking about some of the things with our district. The main show is usually about the district, but we can talk about it too. Um, I'm not I'm not afraid to talk about the district on here. I just don't want to sound professional. Like, oh, today we're talking about the district and well how they're gonna be performing plays, and we don't know how that's gonna happen. I think that is a upcoming episode. That's probably tomorrow's episode. Well, at the time you're probably hearing this, it's probably tomorrow's episode 36. But yeah, we're not going to be informative like, hey, we're talking about this. No, this is laid back. This is just talking. This is just like, hey, we're having fun doing stuff. Like, you can listen into the conversation. You can, you can talk with us with it. And like, I'm not like, if you want to come on and like we just chat for a little bit, like, totally fine with that. You just have to let me know. We do have like that was back when like I'm like, oh, we're gonna be formal, and like they have an appearance form that they would need to fill out. Yeah, that went south. Like, nobody responded to it. If I look at it, I could probably look at it now. Um, I keep everything in my Google. I gotta clear out my Google Drive because I only have 15 gigabytes. I'm at 7.2, so like I used half of it already. Um, so I gotta kind of clear it out, put it in my OneDrive, which I think is a terabyte, like 1,000 gigabytes. So cross my fingers. Appearance request. So like I open some of the forms every now and then just to be like, hey, what's it up to? Yeah, 0 responses. I think I can even pull. Yeah, I think I can even pull it up. Maybe if I switch it to my other screen. People who are like on the video version, you can probably see it. That's that's generally it's gonna be huge for now because I don't have it formatted. But that's generally, you have the appearance request, like stuff like that, like, hey, what topic would you want? Contact handle in case we need contact. Live stream really went out. Like, we're not doing live streams that much anymore, like on the main channel or that. So yeah, that was more like summer, and text, email, Snapchat, all that. We have all that, both shows, all that. I just go to responses and then see 0, so it's not like you're not hurting my feelings or anything. I'm just like, okay. I have to switch this back to my regular screen. But yeah, it's always there if or you can tell me like, hey, I heard you on your podcast. Like, I'd love to come and talk, something like that. Like, would you be okay if we would talk about something, or like, I don't know, something cool? Um, it would also depend on the topic. Some of the topics, well, right now, some of the topics I'm a little bit more to, like, if you say like, oh, like we had a vegetarian topic in the topic request, we're not gonna talk about that, and it's not because that I want to avoid it. It's more we're having a debate, which can turn into an argument, which can damage a relationship or something, like relationship, like friendship, whatever, damage a friendship slash relation, like whatever, and do it. So give me a second. Sorry, just had to do something real quick. Of course, the people on video version saw me yell. Um. So yeah. It's a really finicky thing. And like talking about vegetarian, like I'm not gonna force people to be vegetarian. Somebody had a video and they're like, well, think of how many animals you're hurting, and I'm like, I don't know what side you're on. It seems like you want me to talk about how good a vegetarian is, even though I'm sitting here eating a burger at Red Robin. So yeah, I'm not gonna be like the vegan teacher and like turn around and go to McDonald's and I don't know if that's true or not. I've heard that people think it's true. I don't know if it is, but maybe it is. So, um, but yeah, we're not gonna talk about like stuff you could take one side or another one. Now, if you're talking about the district and you're like, yeah, I mean, some of the things I think they're stupid. Like, I'm fine with that. You're sharing your opinion, but we're not gonna sit here and have a debate about it. Yes, we might bring up topics that we can share our opinions on, kind of see where we're coming from, kind of talk about our opinions a little bit. But we're not going to have a debate. We're not going to have an argument. Like, sometimes I'll want to get in an argument. Um, Usually I just get those pulses when I'm texting, so cross my fingers that does not happen with this. But yeah, just tell me what you want to do first before I set everything up, because I'm not going to record an episode, keep it on my computer, waste my hard drive, just to have your argument be seen. But like I said, if you want to kind of talk to me about stuff or like join me on the show, I mean, come on, there's stuff that's open. Just text me or whatever. By this time, you probably already know who I am, or like if you know me and you know some like if you know me, then just like text me or something, um, or not or something. Just text me, like Instagram, Snapchat, actually texting me through my number, phone number, um, you know, all that stuff. Um, I'm not afraid, and like Ella, I'm gonna try to rope in. I'll still do my solos here because I'm like, yeah, I like my solos because I can talk to myself for a little bit and be like, hey, this is what I'm talking about. And people just kind of, it seems like people just kind of like they like me sitting here and kind of talking about stuff. One of my friends, she's probably listening right now. Um, says I don't know why, but I love podcasts. And I kind of sit there and I just like the discussions in the podcast. If you had two people talking, I can be like, yeah, I get it. Um, but hardly ever do I listen to like I don't think I've ever listened to an argument on a podcast. So we're not going to be the first. Uh, so help, do I really need it? Depends on the thing. I think I just saw a stink bug walk across there. I can't see. Oh no, maybe it was just a curtain. I thought it was a stink bug. And if I could stop being blue for a second. There we go. Yeah. So that's our episode for right now. I don't think I really have anything else to talk about. This was just kind of like a time filler, but also like, hey, this is like our plan. This is kind of like, yeah, this is what we're doing. Kind of our way of like, if you want to know more information, then like here's the more information. It's kind of what this podcast is. It's also just like a laid back thing that we do because like we, whatever. um, yeah. So to wrap up, I'm glad Ella joined. I think she's gonna be a good help. If you want to come on here, don't be afraid to ask me. We'll set up a time we can record like Zoom or something. I don't think we would actually do like an in-person chat right now, just because of the virus and stuff. Oh god, the virus. Let's not talk about that either. Summer was the only time where you could talk about it because it was like Monday. It was like March, April. Actually, we joined in May, so it was like May. We ended school. Um, Actually, it was like May 31st was the exact date we joined. Um, so we just finished school. But yeah, like don't be afraid. I'll set up a Zoom. Talk for a little bit and then like stop recording and whatever. If we want to talk for more, we can. It's not like it's a having like 3 or more people. Like I'm gonna have to restrict it to like 40 minutes because I mean Zoom is a pain in the butt. Then or we'll do like Google Meet because I don't think they have a time cap. So yeah. With that, I have to end because we're getting close to half an hour. That's kind of like it's cut off time. So thanks for tuning in. If you did, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. If you watch the video version, because I mean nobody follows our. Well, there's only like one person who follows uh, our YouTube channel. So yeah. Thanks for tuning in if you did, in any form or way. Of course, we will be back, hopefully with 5 episodes. 5. I'm serious here. We will have episode after every day next week. I'm going to make it so it's every day. Cross my fingers, stuff comes up, and I'm like, hey, yeah. So maybe I'm going to try to advertise, like, hey, do you want to do something? Do you want to talk? Cause that'll help. That'll help. Fill the time there. So as we hit like half an hour, I think maybe, possibly, maybe, yes. You can see the streak if you're watching the video version. We'll end here. So thanks for tuning in. I'm not gonna say like video version, whatever. I already did that part. We'll be back hopefully with a week of episodes, which is gonna be awesome. And that sounded oddly weird. It'll be awesome. Still sounded weird. I'll have to work on that. Yeah. So catch you next. Catch you next time. Whatever you want to say. God, I sound old. Well, whatever. I'll be back sooner or later. Yeah. So see you later. Because half an hour. There's no other reason. Okay. Now to stop talking because sometimes you just gotta stop talking. Okay. I don't want to click it. Don't know why. In 3, 2, 1, click.